Hey guys, welcome back. So now it's been well over a month since the end of season 1. I thought it'd be a great time to go over the shows to watch if you love Doctor Who, while we're in this sort of 6 month gap between the Christmas special and season 1. Now this list won't include things like Tortured Class or the Sarah Jane Adventures, because they sort of come hand in hand with Doctor Who and they're part of the Who universe. So of course, if you haven't seen them already, go check them out. But this is going to be strictly non-Doctor Who shows for this one. Kicking us off, Being Human is an interesting one. It revolves around the lives of a werewolf, a vampire, and a ghost trying to live normal lives. Instead of hiding away, they try to live with humans but are under constant pressures and struggles from both themselves and other supernatural beings. The first series also contains Alonzo. Moving on, ever wanted to see 12 totally unleashed, swearing and in politics? Then have I got the show for you. The thick of it stars Peter Capaldi, and if Doctor Who wasn't a family show, I think this is how 12 would be. It is a funny show and does even include a reference to the show itself. Sherlock is another one to watch, being a modern version of Sherlock, very British and being written by Stephen Moffat himself. Not only this, but supernatural too. Following brothers who go travelling fighting all sorts of supernatural beings. This, Sherlock and Doctor Who came hand in hand back in the early 2010s, named Super Wholock, so if you haven't already, give them a go. The Flash is a good one for superhero type fans. It revolves around a superhero who, after being struck by lightning, now has superpower abilities. Sound familiar? Who can do all sorts of things, include move at super speed and time travel, and uses his powers to fight crime and put things right. The first series also sees him face his arch enemy, the opposite of him, known as Reverse Flash. Sticking with superheroes, we also have WandaVision, which includes multiple time periods who live out their lives in an ideal life, but they start to suspect not is all as it seems. It does also contain some sad elements too, but I'll let you find that out for yourself. Legends of Tomorrow is another good one to try out. Its first two series include Arthur Darvill as a Doctor-type character called Rip Hunter, recruiting people through time to stop a powerful leader whose apocalypse could not only destroy Earth, but the whole of time. For all the David Tennant fans out there, we have Good Omens, focusing on an angel and a devil who must work together to find a child and stop the end of the world. Like Phasmin fans, Good Omens shippers too get their happy ending, but you have to see it to find out how. For something more on the alien side, we have the X-Files. One a skeptic and another a believer, they explore the strange and unexplained while forces try to stop them. Some of the aliens are really creepy, with some looking like they come straight out of Doctor Who itself. Game of Thrones is another popular watch, especially with people like Shona. It's where Maisie Williams is most well known from and has mythical-like beings with families fighting to rule the land. Matt Smith also stars in one of its recent spin-offs, House of Dragons. If you're after time travel in a movie trilogy, then Back to the Future is definitely one to watch. Made in the 80s, it contains a time-travelling car owned by a doctor and his friend, or companion as he may be referred to, known as Marty McFly, and they go to time periods like 1885, 1955 and 2015, which was much more 80s and cooler than we remember 2015 to be. I enjoyed it so much I named one of my dogs after the Doc's sidekick Marty, so it certainly made an impression on me. Talking of doctors, Trust Me contained a doctor who's played by Jodie Whittaker. Sound familiar? Well, this one was filmed before she was announced, and she's actually a nurse pretending to be a doctor, but it's very gripping, and in the second series she doesn't appear due to filming series 11, but the main character is William Russell's son, and it does contain heavy references to Doctor Who itself. Broadchurch is one to watch also, written by Chris Chibnall. Now, stay with me. No matter what you think of his writing in Doctor Who, I actually thought it wasn't bad. He wrote something which had the whole nation gripped, including stars like Arthur Darvill, David Bradley, Olivia Colman, David Tennant, and anyone not sure on Jodie's acting abilities needs to give this a watch because she's one of the highlights of it all. My Family is a bit of a wild card, but I certainly enjoyed it, and it does contain a huge amount of Doctor Who actors in it. If you saw my April Fool's video, then you'll know you can class it as an actual spin-off, seeing as Susan, played by Zoe Wanamaker, aka Cassandra, broke the fourth wall and told the audience her secret to not aging is moisturising. Just view this as a backstory to Cassandra's character. Next we have Clara in the Victorian era, but this time she's not Oswin, rather she's Queen Victoria herself. If you're a fan of Clara, or more so Jenna Coleman, then Victoria is a show to check out, revolving around the life of Victoria, but not as we know her. No Paternoster gang though, unfortunately, or werewolves, but it's still a brilliant watch. Jenna also has a long list of other shows to watch if you enjoy her performances. One of the highest I recommend is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Made in the late 90s and early noughties, I'm sure it was the perfect filler for some fans in the wilderness years. You may also notice some similarities with Torchwood, Spike and Captain John Hock being villains, and a few stories shown in Torchwood which are very similar to Buffy, which come first. Russell also did base some of the ideas of Torchwood and the vibe it was going for from Buffy, so it's definitely worth a watch. It even contains acrylotane. If you love everything about Doctor Who, then the one show you need to watch has to be Primevil. It was an absolutely brilliant show and was actually ITV's answer to Doctor Who mania seen in the late noughties. Like Doctor Who, it involves many time periods both from the past and the future, explored through time anomalies, and all types of creatures on the other side often escaping. It was also in stiff competition with Doctor Who in terms of cliffhangers, with the end of the first series and the end of episode 1 in the second series being some of the best, including all of Doctor Who's. I won't spoil anything for you, but I think it's an incredible idea and something Doctor Who should do. But don't take my word for it, go and see for yourself. And that's my recommendation for shows you should watch if you love Doctor Who. Now, of course, I would never have gone through all of them because there are so many shows out there that you can still watch if you enjoy Doctor Who. So if you guys have any recommendations, then please do drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hit them, and if I haven't seen them before, I'd also love to check them out. So do make sure you drop them in the comments below. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and hopefully see you in my next video soon. Thank you all for watching and take care.